Hey, ladies. How you doing? Can you guys hear me?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi. Hi. How are you, Ryan? How's it going?
great. Hey, this worked out great. You guys are like sisters, so you're close to each other. You're giving, you can give each
Yes.
other a hug. It's not like your business partners that are done working together.
That would be a tough situation.
So I want to first thank Eric Case, who works for uh, Cho these days. It's tough to keep up with Eric, right? Who introduced us last week. I said I was looking for somebody that was interesting to talk to, and his first inclination was you guys. He said that this is who you have to talk to if you want to talk to the movers and shakers in the chocolate industry.
Well, that's very sweet of him.
So he'll be here eventually, and then he'll ask lots of questions that we can ignore.
Oh, okay. We can do that. Or, maybe they're interesting questions. You never know.
You never know with Eric. It can be real hit or miss with him, but he knows everybody in the industry. I mean, I don't know how long you've known Eric.
Not very long, but because we started talking he's from Cho, and we started talking
Give
about
me one second.
yeah, go ahead. About maybe getting milk chocolate from Cho, which we were looking for. So he got in touch, and we started talking, and he has been everywhere because we use a lot of Venezuelan chocolate from El Rey, and he was just, oh yeah, El Rey, and then he knew everyone, and we were very surprised. So yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
I think El Rey was his first landing spot when he got into the chocolate industry 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke a little bit about the whole, El Rey, and it was, for me, I was surprised that he was, oh yeah, I know them and everything. And so most people know maybe the brand, but he knew a lot about it. So it was interesting.
And there he is. Hey, Eric, we're talking about you, just so you know. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, when I met Eric, he was working for Guitard.
Right.
And that was after El Rey, but before Valrhona. Anyway, whatever. Enough talking about Eric. So, Susana, where'd you go? Did you have to go to the bathroom? Did you
Things are happening, and I heard the beep from the oven, and I had to rush. We're good. We're good.
Got it. So
forgot about it.
We're filming this. We're at home right now. The store is open, and there's someone taking care over there. But we took a good hour to come and talk to you guys.
Well, thank you very much.
Our busy small business work day. You know how it is.
Fortunately or unfortunately, no. I don't. I mean, I know how it is, but I don't have to deal with that every day like you guys do. I mean, so. Susana, this is the first time we've met. I talked to Isabel on the phone last week, but pleasure to meet you. Thank you for joining us. And I know you both, well, you're sisters. So you're both from Venezuela originally.
That's right, yes.
And have sort of traveled the world doing food. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, I started to be an architecture. I'm an architect. And then I just forever been doing some kind of business related to cookies or pies and the crunchy caramels and stuff like that. And then I just went to, I discovered chocolate while working with chocolate, because obviously in Venezuela we eat a lot of chocolate. That's something we discovered here, that it's abnormal the amount of chocolate that we consume in Venezuela relative to other cacao producing countries. So we eat a lot of chocolate, and it's in every party you go to there's some kind of chocolate dessert, which is, I found out that is unusual.
Well, I mean, okay, I've been to Venezuela.
Okay.
I mean, it was many years ago, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but I mean, at a different time. But I've also been to Caracas and some other places in Central and South America. Colombians eat a lot of chocolate too.
I think traditionally they eat less chocolate than we do. There's a few things. There's when it comes to Venezuelans and chocolate. So there's a couple of things. There was a law passed in the 1970s where all the cacao was for internal consumption. So
no, all the chocolate had to be made with
Yeah.
all that chocolate for made internally in the country had to be made with cacaos
from Venezuela, so with nationally grown cacao. So from forever, we've been eating excellent chocolate, like amazing chocolate. Even in what would be our version of a Milky Way, it was made with maybe a cacao criollo, cacao trinitario, and we were like, oh, this is delicious, whatever. And then we would go to other countries and taste the chocolate and be like, no, what is going on? And
you guys are totally chocolate snobs. Chocolate snobs.
Yeah.
Venezuelan chocolate snobs. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Don't get me wrong. Like that's. Well.
And the other thing is that everyone, I mean, cacao is very much a part of. Most people have like a little cacao tree growing in their backyard. We did. And, you know, it's very much part of everyday sort of life. I think less than like Colombia, you would go more towards the coffee and things like that. Whereas in Venezuela, it's definitely the cacao and the rum.
They're starting to grow the cacao and
Yeah,
the whole chocolate business in Colombia. We had a lady, I don't know if she'll join us eventually. She's a Colombian, and she was like showing us her, like she's doing bean to bar in Colombia. So we started talking about that, and it's like, no, this is fairly new. Like we have Lucre, yeah, like
Right.
they have, yeah. But it's not like, I mean, you can't compare Ray or or Franceschi to.
Okay, I'm friends with the Lucre folks, and I've been to the plant in Bogota.
Yeah.
They make some really good chocolate though too. I mean, I'll admit that
they don't. We're just saying that the tradition in Venezuela with the chocolate is, yeah. I mean, even
agreed.
Yeah, you can go to Argentina. They have such a big European influence,
Right.
right? And you find lots of, they do the alfajores dipped in chocolate and things like that, but it isn't as pervasive as it is in Venezuela. In Venezuela, everyone has a recipe for hot chocolate. Everyone has a recipe for, it's very much in the culture.
We're gonna get you on the Colombian chocolate board.
Oh yeah.
But we like Colombian chocolate.
And we have worked.
I meant by the way, I meant Venezuelan chocolate board. I didn't mean Colombian.
Oh.
Sorry, I've got Colombia in my head.
Yeah,
it's been a long week. It's been a really long week.
But we'll let it go. Is there a chocolate board in Venezuela right now? I don't know.
A chocolate, yes. There's every board in Venezuela for everything. Yeah, it's like you can. Right now, you can even cross counties. So let's say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was there probably 2012.
Okay.
No, not 2012. Like 2003.
Okay.
2004.
But it's not the same.
No, but I mean, Venezuela was beautiful. You know, I mean, the people were wonderful, the food was great, but
yeah, I mean,
there were starting to be some challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way to put it? I mean, like, I don't want to.
No. Time passes differently in Venezuela. If you went in 2003, the changes that you would see if you went today, you would be really surprised. That being said, we still have family. We still have tons of friends in Venezuela, and are very attached. So there is a big bean to bar movement in Venezuela, with people making their chocolate bars, and that's amazing, and that's something that we're very proud. I have friends who started their own chocolate businesses, and it's great to see, because we had the big companies such as El Rey and Savoy, which was eventually bought by Nestle, and La India, and of course Franceschi, and these others. But we weren't seeing the same as you have here in the States with the craft chocolate movement. We weren't seeing that in Venezuela until about, I don't know, 4 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
That's been a huge change in sort of the Venezuelan chocolate.
You know what's funny is that I was talking to our guest last week or a week before. I don't know. All my weeks have run together recently. Was
funny.
I blame COVID. It's 2020.
Yes, for everything. Yes.
I still think it's March. Like honestly,
no.
like it's still March.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were talking with somebody who has a bean to bar business in Ghana, right?
Okay.
And up until like 2 years ago, you couldn't get Ghanese cacao in Ghana. It all got exported, and like you wanted it, you couldn't get it. Like you had to like go through a co-op and kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Smuggle it in and
You're from Venezuela. You knew what that meant, but
Yeah.
you know, like it's changing, right? I mean, I think there's, you know, we can get into the political side, but traditionally chocolate wasn't produced in cocoa growing regions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about the history of chocolate itself, I always say the cacao has a really long history, of course. I mean, from the Olmecs and the Aztecs and all these pre-Columbian, pre-coloniales, all these ancient Latin American societies. But then chocolate itself is very much like, I would call it an industrial product, because you need that big machine to make chocolate the way we know and love it today. Like a bar of beautiful, smooth, lovely chocolate, and not something that's going to be very coarse and ground and you know, perhaps not as enjoyable to our palate today. So it's very much, I feel like, an industrial product. And of course, it was made in industrial countries, which is why you have people coming in and asking us, oh, so do you guys use Belgian chocolate? And we're like, I mean, you can call it Belgian, but is it Belgian? But it is. I mean, of course, it is made in Belgium. But yeah, there's that thing. So no, it's yes, we use chocolate that's made in the country of origin, and that's a thing. And for us, it's important.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big part of some of that is like, even you were talking about industrialization. Like, we were talking about Ghana last week, and power. Mm-hmm. Like, if your conch turns off because there's no power, it's big trubs, right? And I mean, obviously, I mean, if we think about other parts of the world, I mean, we're pretty blessed in the developed world to not have to worry about power most of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can trust that I'm propped up on a cooling tunnel, right? Like, I can trust that this cooling tunnel is going to work whenever I want it to work. Yeah. Right, I don't have to think about that, which other parts of the world are not as fortunate in regards to that.
Other thing that we've learned the hard way is that obviously in cacao producers countries is, you know, the equator, the tropics, which is very hot. It's not good for chocolate. It is so dumb to make chocolate in this weather. And then we move from Venezuela.
But you pick Miami,
and it's like. So we are really powerful to be doing this here, because it's like
every time
makes no sense.
Every time an article comes up, like the unmelting chocolate, and we're like, oh, what is this? But it's never true. It's always like healthy chocolate and things like that. Oh no.
Okay, so all right, so you guys are born in Caracas, right? Because I read your bio. I made some notes, but not a lot of them.
Okay.
So you were born in Caracas, and then you were an architecture student, and Isabel, you were a journalist? Is that right?
I was a journalist for a while. I studied politics in England for a bit.
Of course.
As you do. And then you end up making chocolate for a living, which is, it makes sense.
In Miami.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I have a poli-sci degree too. Like, we could like, I didn't get to study like in Oxford or wherever you studied, but you know. Was it Oxford? Was I right?
We didn't get to talk politics,
It was at the London School of Economics.
No, I'll tell you a story. So we've been doing this every week, and like since March, and like I've been doing tons of demos, and I did a demo yesterday, and I wasn't thinking about it, and I had a coffee mug, and I had a coffee mug that may have supported somebody on it, and it created a bit of a ruckus. So I'm using my Starbucks mug today.
Which may create some ruckus.
Is it a Christmas industry? Is it a Christmas or holiday cup?
It is a Christmas mug that I got last year during the holiday season.
Is it made in your country? There's always some politics.
I don't know.
Always something. But
right, the Caribou coffee people will be very upset with me, and they will boycott my show because I'm not using a Caribou coffee mug.
You know what?
It's got water in it.
Completely judgment-free zone over here. You know, enjoy your Starbucks. Enjoy.
It's water.
You should be
I'm
able
drinking-
to enjoy your cup.
I'm drinking water.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something with water that you're like, what?
Yeah, well, it's not in a plastic container.
Yeah. Are you in California? Because then maybe water
No,
is like.
New York.
No, I'm in New York.
Okay.
Anyway, so we won't talk politics today, but some other time we'll talk politics because we'll have a whole, we can like geek out on politics. But,
Yes.
So
So,
you go to London.
I studied in England, and then I came back home, and I was a journalist for about, I want to say 2.5, 3 years in a very politically charged environment. I was doing investigative journalism. After a while, they got, one of those things. And
Because I am a politic wonk. When is this? I mean, who was president?
Oh, well,
forever.
Chavez, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, they've been in power for.
I know. I didn't know if you meant before or after that. That was all I was trying to figure
Oh,
out.
she's young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All well,
She's a baby.
exactly. I've been of age.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like the first time that Chavez was voted into power, I was 17.
Okay.
So all my adult life has been this mess.
We said we're not talking politics. We're not talking American politics. We're not talking
I'm
Venezuelan politics.
After a while, I actually did study journalism and everything. And when I came back, Susana invited me and to join her in our chocolate venture. And that was more than 10 years ago.
Where was that? That was in Miami.
No, I came here
Venezuela.
12 years ago. We were doing that in Caracas for 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Or 14
Yeah.
years ago. We had
Okay.
a small business there in Caracas, which is so easy because, and that's another thing, the culture-wise, like people like in European countries and in Venezuela, they eat chocolate like every day. Like they have their box of
very
chocolate.
common.
Right.
For their consumption every day. Here, we've noticed that it's more like the gift that you're
Right.
taking to a hostess gift, to dinner. So they in their minds, it's a gift. So we've shifted a lot in that sense as our company and what we're offering, for sure.
But opening a business in Caracas, I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about in this program about what it's like to open a business in the U.S.
Yes.
because there's access to money, there's access to real estate, there's access to equipment. I mean, it's obviously more challenging for women, even in the United States. I mean, but was that a challenge in Caracas? I mean,
Well, I can tell you, there's studies that were made, but this is 2009 when I was a journalist, and even before that. How many steps you needed to take to start a business in the whole of Latin America? And Venezuela came out with like, you need 80 steps, something like, if you want to get all the permits and sort of
Right.
launch a business. We were starting off, so we were very small. We were working out of our kitchen, but even like Susa was saying, it was easy for us to, even turn a profit just by doing parties. Venezuelans are very, very generous when it comes to throwing parties. I'm sure you must have noticed. We huge parties, weddings, things like that.
Right.
So it was for us. We could do 2-3 weddings a week, and we were perfect. We could have grown from there. And we were trying to take off, but we were doing it. Architects, journalists, we had no business background. So we were doing everything very slowly, same as we did when we got here, very sort of organically. And what's the next step? And, we're growing as we go. But it's, it's strange when, obviously it's going to be harder in Venezuela to set up a business, but it's also, we have more contacts, we know people, we know how it works, you can give it that sort of, my friend was getting married. I was like, you're not having someone else's chocolates at your wedding kind of thing.
Network-wise, obviously,
Yeah.
somebody somewhere. It's tiny.
So you're running this business in Caracas,
Yeah.
Yes, it was in Caracas. Yeah.
and then, but at some point you decided
Well,
Was the
I
goal
had
to move
to
the
leave-
business to the States, or why
No,
why'd
I
you end
had
up in
to
Miami?
leave. I had to leave. My husband, he decided to transfer his business and come to the office. That they had an office here, so we moved, me and the children. And then 2 years later, Isa came in. So I started like doing it very slow. Like I missed it. I started doing here. And then when Isa came out, okay, and we started cottage food, like the Florida law. I don't know how many states had that cottage food law, so
Right.
we could sell at markets, and so we started like that.
B2C directly,
Yeah.
like direct. We could sell directly to the consumer without getting too complicated. So that's how we started. So
Yeah.
very much B2C and farmers markets.
And
things like
being immigrants and moms, we had to, like. We couldn't afford to do full time, so it was perfect for us. And then one day we decided, okay, the hobby is over. Let's dive in. Yeah, it was great.
So when is that? Like, so when did you start Garcia Nevitt? Like formally? Like when
We
did?
started with the name of Cacao Art before that, and we rented a warehouse. So it was like 6 years ago,
No,
7
6
years
years
ago,
ago.
something
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
we started winning the International Chocolate Awards just with the bonbons, very humble. And then 2 years ago, we decided, we did like a very philosophical rebranding thing. And we decided that our name, we're proud of what we're doing, and it's an artist, kind of thing. So we opened the shop 2 years ago. We rebranded Garcia Nevett. It's been going on for 2 years.
Yeah.
And my little research says that you've done pretty well in Miami. That you're on the list of places for chocolate that you should go to in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's something I don't know. With my background as journalist, I've definitely tried to do that work, that sort of PR work, to make sure that we get our name out there. But it's also been a lot of word of mouth, I think.
Yeah.
Which is great for us. We're really happy with that. Susana mentioned the awards, and it was funny because when we first arrived here, we didn't have what we had in Venezuela, where people are getting to know us, just because among friends and contacts and things like that, people were starting to hear, the Garcia sisters, they're making chocolate, words started to get around, and we're like, how do we get that here? And we started researching about these awards, and we entered the Good Food Awards back I think it was in their second or third year only.
Yeah.
And that was really, for us it was amazing. We got an award that year. It was a huge boost for our confidence, and it also, this thing where people would come up, oh, you guys have won an award, okay, let me try that one. So yeah, it makes.
What did you win the Good Food Award for?
A little bit of a seal of approval. So we started joining more with the trying to apply to more and more awards. Luckily we've won a few, and we've created this really great network of meeting chocolate makers and chocolatiers as well. So it's been really, really great in that sense.
What was the first Good Food Award for?
The Chocolate Honey and Cardamom Bonbon. And we're very, very proud of that one, because we didn't know about chocolate honey. It's a honey that's indigenous to northern Florida and a little bit of Georgia, and it is a beautiful, very subtle sweetness, and it's a very special honey. It's good for diabetics. It doesn't crystallize, and we sort of made it with this ganache using cardamom, and cardamom is one of our favorite spices that we've traveled to Scandinavia, to Turkey, and we were always having that cardamom, in the Turkish coffee, in the pastries and things like that, and we brought it together, and it's a very special bonbon for us, and it was our first award winner.
Yeah, we tried. My assistant was working on a recipe this week that she wanted cardamom in.
Yeah.
And they were out of it. They were out of it at our local grocery store.
Oh wow.
Oh well,
That's a good thing.
It's a warm spice, I think. It's good for fall. It's a very warm sort of cinnamon without that aggressive sort of cinnamon taste. But it's a beautiful spice. We love it.
I like cardamom with grapefruit.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
Yeah, you've tried it?
No, I'm not a fan of grapefruit, so you gotta try it.
I like pineapple with sugar and cinnamon. Okay.
So who does what in the company? Like, or do you guys have roles? Does everybody do everything, or kind of do you land one place?
Well, we both love doing R&D, research and development. That's our favorite, I think. So researching new flavors, chocolates, and getting in and being in the kitchen. That's our favorite, I think, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we do together. But set roles. Susana is very much the eye and design, and she does most of our. She does with graphic designers, helps and everything, but she does all the design for our boxes, the look of our website and things like that. That is definitely her. She's also we do most of the stuff we do, just the two of us. I, on the other hand, like I mentioned, with my journalist background, I do a lot of the PR, a lot of the social media and things like that. So that would be more like me. If we need to write any copy for anything, that would be on my side. I sort of deal a little bit with the sort of more practical accountant and things like that. But then Susa also takes care of some of that as well. We try to be fair.
Well, we started this, and it's a good thing you like each other, because it sounds like, you guys are in trouble if you get into a fight.
Yeah. And we are so different, like night and day, that we complement each other in that sense.
Yeah.
And she, I get crazy and I started thinking about, and she's like, stop, no.
Well,
Susana is an idea machine, which is great until you have to, stop. You already have you have 2 or 3 good ideas. Let's work on those. And then she goes crazy on those ideas, and it's perfect.
I mean, there has to be things in business where you guys don't agree, right? I mean, every once in a while, rarely, I know. I mean, how do you work that out? Like, most of the people that we've talked to on this program, they're the boss, right? I mean, it's their business, like they're running it. There may be people that are invested, but at the end of the day, they get to make the decisions. Like, what happens when you run into that decision that you guys don't agree on, or does that not happen?
I mean, it happens. We have
not today. It hasn't happened in the last 45 minutes.
We call family
We actually do call family meeting.
Family meeting.
Like mom, dad, and brother and sister.
And they weigh in.
We're talking like big decisions that we need. Yeah. If not, I just we overrule each other depending on what the decision is.
And there's also
I don't care.
if there's one place where we disagree with something, in the end, I mean, if Susana, I'm sorry, let me get this.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, right. If Susana doesn't, if she really doesn't agree with what I'm saying, maybe we'll discuss it. But usually we'll come to some sort of agreement. And sometimes it'll just be, I don't agree, but I'm going forward with it anyway. And I'll be like, oh, okay. And she'll be the same. It's like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And in the end, it has never been something so big that it's unsurmountable.
You're moving again.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It's making it fun.
But yes,
it's like a roller coaster.
So that helps as well whenever we have any issues coming up. And we do take it to family council for sure.
I don't know that I want to be one of the voting people on that council. I think, the two of you are going to make a compelling argument, and I don't think there's a winner having to pick somebody to win.
Yeah, that's it.
But
all right.
Thankfully, for at least until now, knock on wood, we've been pretty much on board. We know what the other one sort of expects from the job, and one of our family traits is that we're very fair. Everyone has to do we're trying to be very fair always, and sometimes. So if I feel like, Susana has been working so many more hours at the store, I will make sure to go to the store and tell her, you go home. It's just something that has been sort of part of our family values forever, just to be very, very fair. And it also, it avoids those sort of little fights.
Got it. I mean, it's always a mystery to me because A, I don't own a business, and B, I'm an only child, right? So I don't know what it's like to have to like
Yeah.
and I had my own business for a little while where I made the decisions, and if I didn't like the decision, it was my decision. It's really
Yeah.
too bad, right? And I think it's got to be the dynamics got to be from time to time be challenging because there is that family piece too, where you guys know a lot about each other. Like if you want to win a fight, my bet is you can win a fight, right?
Yes.
Remember when you were Dose and you took that sweater out of my drawer and you said you didn't like. I mean, I don't think you do that, but maybe. I mean,
I am 7 years older than her, so it's like
There's an age difference. Maybe that has.
I don't know, but the thing is, and we say this a lot, like we're like two parts of the same. Like you making the decisions on your own, and like it's a good thing that we get to discuss it, and the other person is like, no, I'm giving you all the options, and then you weigh in everything.
Yeah.
You know, not you, and maybe you're wrong. Nobody's going to tell you, like, dude, wake up. Remember that time where you did,
right.
I think in that sense, it's even better. I always say, like, I see other small businesses, they're on their own, and like, it's good to have that and to have somebody to tell you, like, no, this is go this way or that, or like, so
we
so
joke
that actually is a good thing.
We joke that we each have half a brain, and together we whole brain.
Right and left or front and back, right? I mean, that's so.
But yeah, that's a good thing because you get like I don't know, I do this, like you're trying to make a decision and you're you against yourself.
Right.
Not really looking at every angle.
Hey, so we joked that Eric was going to start asking questions, and he is. But he reminded me we've got to loop back around to chocolate a little bit. And you guys both said that you like doing the R&D.
Yes.
Like, at some point along the way, you've created a flavor that you thought was going to be awesome, and everybody's like, "That's the worst thing ever."
Yes, we have.
It was the laurel caramel.
No, I like that. No,
that was horrible.
That we have met through the FCIA and the awards, Maricel Priscilla, and she told us that there's this pepper, this pepper in Venezuela, ají dulce, and she did the book on peppers, and like, no, you have to do a chocolate with this sweet pepper. And yes, like I got all excited because it's a challenge. Oh my God, it was so horrible in so many ways. And I did a jelly, and I did it like pureed, and then it's like, it doesn't work.
It didn't work.
It doesn't work.
It was horrible.
And we had to eat a lot of horrible chocolate just to try it. But it was fun.
And sometimes I'll be like, I really wanted to do the Earl Grey chocolate.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to make a chocolate using Earl Grey tea. That's my favorite. And Susana was like, well, you know what? You go ahead. Because I've done 6 different tests and it's just not working. And I sort of like, and then we keep at it. And finally, we now have an Earl Grey tea chocolate that we love.
Yeah.
But it was mostly because I was like, I have to. I need to get this.
But that was like always beautiful, even if you didn't taste it.
Yeah, it was never an off-putting flavor like the ají dulce.
Like the ají dulce was.
It was horrible.
Terrible.
So if Maricel asked me, so I'm on a committee with Maricel, right? Because I'm on the education committee for the FCIA. So if she like asked me to do a pepper ganache, the answer is no. Is that what you're telling me? Just like I don't have time.
I'll tell her we told you. No, she's gonna.
Yes, try. We want to know it.
We want someone to do it for us and then tell us, it works with.
No, and the fun thing is, like, I started like reminiscing from Venezuela that we do have, like, it's a sweet pepper. It's not just sweet, not candy, but we do a jam that I eat with cheese, and that's where I went to. Like, okay, let's do this, but it's horrible.
And there's also, in our particular case, when it comes to our philosophy, when we're making a bonbon or we're making a chocolate and we're designing the chocolate, we take a few. Obviously, everyone has their system, but we do take into account what chocolate we're going to use for that particular bonbon. And we do want the chocolate to play a part in the flavor of the bonbon. We don't want to just you know, a little shell of a nice white chocolate as a base, and then put something in there.
Strawberry chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, that can be nice, but it's sort of, you're sort of missing out on the beautiful nuances of chocolate, right?
Yeah, and we had that conversation in our kitchen this week because Beth, my assistant's been doing a bunch of, we're supposed to write recipes for our website, right? And she's kind of taking the lead on some of that. And she was working on a recipe this week that it's like, all right, let's make a good decision about the chocolate.
Yes.
Because if we're not taking the chocolate into consideration in that recipe,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. And she created this jelly, right, that had no chocolate. So what is that shell, and what does that shell taste like, so that it's complementing what goes in rather than just, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what the chocolate is because it's a carrier.
That is our pet peeve. Like not minding the chocolate is for sure. And we had that because of Venezuela and the situation. We use our base chocolate. We use Venezuelan chocolate, and we had a point where we ran out. Like they were not bringing it in, and they were like, it was awful. Yeah. And I tried to change it using chocolate like that. I could, like, we talked about Rona, Barricaleo, it changes the recipe so much,
right,
with the taste. Like I can't 20 recipes because I changed the chocolate.
Right, and like I think, you know, I'm friends with a bunch of chocolate salespeople. I'm friends with Valrhona people, and I'm friends with Eric, who we talked about, and like they got to do their job, right? I mean, their job is to sell product. So I'm not going to disrespect them by saying this, but you know, they spend a lot of time like saying, well, they're both 64%, and you know, it's from the same origin and this, and it's like, if we really get down to brass tacks, it's not the same. And that's the point, right? So it's not going to work the same because the recipe is going to be different. And it's not going to taste the same because the recipe is going to be different. And when we write recipes here, we try really hard to say, this is the chocolate we use. And if you change that chocolate, you're not getting the same recipe.
I mean, for sure.
Even the cocoa butter that you use. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, right. Cocoa butter. Like,
So I used to work for Albert Ooster Imports, who does Swiss chocolate, right? And at one point we were moving chocolate from one plant to another in Switzerland and all this stuff, and we changed sugar, right? We changed sugar from cane sugar to beet sugar, and the chocolate people all say, oh, sugar doesn't matter, like sugar's sugar. And it's like, it's not like fully processed cane sugar and fully processed beet sugar taste different in final application.
Totally agree. Even, I mean, we have like 6 different salts. You use the diamond salt, the kosher salt, the mountain salt, the fleur de sel, like they all taste different. And they all, and it's just like a sprinkle, but it changes.
Right, and I think that's part of kind of what we're talking about. Like one of the cool things about this project that we've done is we've talked to all these people that love food, right? Like yes, Eric, Pinella, totally different. It's a totally different world, right? But we'll get back to that.
We use coconut a lot,
Yeah. Right, like, and because we love food, right? We only have, 20 grams to convince somebody that we know what we're talking about, right? It's not like I can put a meal on the plate that's got a piece of chicken and it's got a vegetable and it's got some fruit and it's got tour garnish, and I've got 14 grams to work with, and you have to know what it is and like it after eating 14 grams.
And there's an element there of having to educate as well. People are looking like what, I had someone come in yesterday and they were like, oh, this is so expensive. This must be the best chocolate in the world because it's so expensive. And I was like, wait a second. First of all, this isn't particularly, we're not particularly the most expensive chocolate in the world. But let me tell you what is going on in these tiny little bites that you're going to be taking. This freshly made chocolates with chocolate made in country of origin, with recipes that, by us personally, with the best quality. There's all these things that you want to make sure that people understand. This is not just anything that you're eating today.
And I think that's part of the hard part, especially when I work with Europeans, right? And they see chocolate consumption in the United States, and they see numbers, right? So how much chocolate sold in the United States, and we buy chocolate in 32-ounce bags at Halloween, right? And that goes into the chocolate number, right? And don't get me wrong, like I still love a mass market candy bar, and we're going to get back to that in a minute, but they don't understand that we eat chocolate differently in the United States and North America than Belgium or Switzerland or Venezuela,
Yeah.
right? We do it very differently. And so I think I've been in chocolate in the United States and for almost 20 years. We look at chocolate really differently than we did in 2000.
Yes.
But we don't look at it the same way that maybe other people look at it in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Right? Where, that little treat when you're walking through the street of Zurich, you'll buy 2 pieces of chocolate for, 4 francs because you're entitled to a treat.
Yeah.
And not think twice about the cost. Or you're right, because you don't need a pound of it. You need 30 grams.
For sure.
Right.
It's a very different concept of what chocolate is. I mean, when we I love going to the cinema. Well, when we were allowed to go to the cinema and get popcorn and peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms.
Okay. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. So I asked this question to everybody.
Yes.
You're at the grocery store. You're in the checkout aisle.
Yeah.
And you look over and there's the whole candy section, right? What do you buy?
And you call it right. It's a candy section.
It's a
because
candy.
it's more sugar. So we need the chocolate police. We have like a chocolate law defining fine chocolate, fine cacao. What is craft chocolate? Is it bean to bar? Is it what's the name? And then chocolate.
Come on, Susan, answer the question. You're like on your horse, like she's the journalist.
Have peanut M&M or and this is weird, dark chocolate Milky Way.
Yeah.
Milky Way dark.
I do like the Milky Way dark.
I can eat the other Milky Way, but Milky Way dark I know is tons of very, very sweet. I love it. I love it.
I like the peanut M&Ms as well. And the other day I saw M&Ms with brownie
punch.
but I didn't like them. I tried them, but they weren't any good. What else would I?
I will always go for something with chocolate. Not a candy person.
I do Kit Kat bars.
I haven't had a Kit Kat bar in so long.
I have the matcha Kit Kat bar that somebody brought me from Japan. I'm looking at it is it chocolate? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the Kit Kat bars in the rest of the world are better than they are in the United States.
Yeah.
We're literally I'm a mile and a half from Canada,
Right?
where the Kit Kat bars are almost as good as they are in Switzerland.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't been across the border in 8 months, so it's only domestic Kit Kat bars for me.
You see, if you're asking the chocolate, every day, and I think Susana as well, for breakfast I have a toast and chocolate. But
How very Belgian of you.
Yes, it is.
Are they the sprinkle? Are they the sprinkles on your toast or?
No, we get, because we're in Miami and there's so many Venezuelans here. They started bringing it's a green box of Savoy chocolate, and it's dark chocolate, but it's really it's 50% cacao dark. It's not dark chocolate. I mean, it's not a high percentage, but it's a lot of sugar. I'm not saying it isn't, but that is what I have for breakfast almost every day.
Thanks for making me feel better about my strawberry jelly on my toast.
Well,
yours,
you
do you.
Yeah, you do you.
What?
I can't change it. I have to have it every day.
Yeah. And of
All right.
it is made with Venezuelan cacao, so it's that flavor profile that
I don't think it's made with Venezuelan cacao anymore.
Not
It's
anymore?
made with Ecuadorian. Yeah.
Well, there you go. But it's still delicious.
It's just a recipe.
It's good. It's
like
good.
it.
Yeah. But that for me is if I was in Venezuela and I had to pick up I'm at the grocery store. Oh, I need something sweet. I would pick up a bar of that chocolate.
What
Got
about
it.
you pick?
I always the Kit Kat bar.
Always. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I like them all.
Yeah.
You know what I haven't had in a long time? The Twix bar.
Well, it's got caramel.
Bars.
But see,
Toblerone. Wow.
right, so this all then raises a question in my house because my wife and I have this debate. Isn't really a Kit Kat bar a chocolate-covered cookie?
Okay.
I mean, but there's the wafer thing.
Yeah.
It's a cookie.
It's
It
a
is
cookie.
a cookie.
It's like a chocolate-covered Oreo is not a candy bar.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
true.
That's right.
And the Twix bar, isn't it just a chocolate-covered cookie with some caramel in it? I don't know.
It is.
It is. It totally is.
And
Yeah.
a little bit because a little bit of our brand as well has been to recreate some of those beautiful chocolates that we had when, or like, you know, so much about chocolate is that whimsy of the caramel and when I'm saying chocolate, like the candy, and we're trying to bring you that sort of elevated experience. So
Right.
one of our first bonbons was the crunchy caramel covered in dark chocolate. And that was very obviously inspired by Cadbury's Crunchy.
Right.
But we were, I mean, if I have a Cadbury's Crunchy today, the chocolate outside the Cadbury's Crunchy is very milky. It's not
Yeah, so in the Wayback Machine,
of bringing our childhood memories into the chocolates that we're making. The marshmallow as well. I mean, for us
yes.
growing up,
That for me, the Malomars,
yeah, sort of
best cookie ever.
So we.
what is your favorite piece in your case right now? Both of you. Like, in your case right now, what's your favorite piece that you make?
In my case, right now, what's my favorite piece?
Oh, today the ponche crema. Today.
Yeah, but that's because it's one of our very seasonal
holiday.
flavors.
But
and
he's
we just
asking
brought it
today.
back. And we just brought it back. Ponche crema. Ponche
Explain it.
like a little bit like an eggnog. So we use caramelized white chocolates, a little rum, and a little nutmeg to create this very yummy
Covered in dark chocolate.
covered in
So
dark
you got-
chocolate. So you got both that good balance.
It's awesome.
And it was funny because we made it when we were talking about ingredients. We made a batch, and all I had was our rum from Key West. And it's a great rum, and we drink it, and we make another bonbon using that rum. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just make the first batch of ponche crema. I'm dying to make it. I'll just use this one rum. And it came out so sweet because it's completely different. It is another completely different rum. It's a blended rum from the Caribbean, and it is very sweet. Whereas when we use Venezuelan rum, that's
Santa Teresa.
Santa Teresa.
1709.
I've got it. You know, I have to introduce you guys. If you don't, do you know Chris Elbow?
Yes.
Yes.
He's a rum guy.
Yes. 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 He would know. He would know what we're talking about.
So, but go back. Like we store all these videos on YouTube,
Yeah.
and Chris was one of the first guys that we talked to.
Okay.
And Chris has a rum bar in
Yeah.
his shop that
Oh,
he
heard about
he
this.
toured on the interview.
Yeah. He was like, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, he showed everybody. He's like, "Come on, let's go in."
I want
Just,
to
like,
see
took
it.
off.
I see it. I've never been. Yeah. We talked
So
had this discussion about the rums with him.
Yeah.
When he was for the Super Bowl here in Miami, and he came visit.
Yeah, he came to visit our store, and he actually we met him through the FCIA, and they were having this mentoring program, and we got him as mentor for a couple of sessions, and we are very grateful to him because he was so open with his advice and so kind, and we do recommend joining when you're starting a small business, join the societies around your industry. That the advice and that connection that you get from joining these things is, I mean, for us it's been priceless for sure.
Yes.
cool. Hey, so Instagram
Yes.
is going to cut us off here soon because they only let me do an hour. Is that so?
I didn't.
Yeah, it just turns off. I found that out the hard way with somebody one week.
Yeah, like
Oops. So I promised you guys a plug on whatever you want to plug. So if you want to plug your website,
okay.
like all that stuff. So the marketer which is
so,
Isabel.
yes, so you definitely hop on our website. We have our pre-sale of our advent calendars, and that is very near and dear to my heart. This is the first year we're doing our advent calendars for Christmas, and it's just, I mean, for me, it's this beautiful product that we're launching. And of course, if you just want to hang out at our virtual store online, you can always, we have a little, you can ask us questions on our website, and we'll, try to get back to you as soon as we can. And just go on our website. Everything's there. We have a lot of information, all of our products, and we would love to, have you pop on over there.
Hey, Isabel, what is your website? You didn't tell anybody your website. You just said come to our website.
.com.
Say it again. Sorry, I was talking.
GarciaNevett.com. Yeah, it's in our handle as well. So,
check out your Instagram page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the same as our Instagram page at Garcia.Nevitt. The website is just GarciaNevett.com. If you type in chocolate and Garcia, it'll come up.
Cool. All right, so you got that out of the way. So if we run out of time, I didn't want you not to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm going to plug me. My Instagram page is Brian Donaghy. We're at Tomrick Systems on Instagram, and check out tomrick.com. But we're redoing our website. It's all going to be brand new in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, cool. And we'll check out for those recipes. We wanna see those recipes you guys have been developing. That's interesting.
Yeah, Beth is working on something with like bananas and chilies and like this. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Panela. Yeah.
It's tough to get in Buffalo. It's not like one of those ingredients that's at the grocery store.
No, you get it in Colombian panela, organic. It's amazing. Yeah, next day.
I know.
Go.
Next time I'm in Colombia, I'll put it in my bag and bring a bunch home.
Oh yeah. Bring a bag from Colombia. Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to be allowed on a plane again. However, so
when will we be?
We're sticking to local flavors now.
We need to do some guava.
We're doing chicken wings and blue cheese. That's what we're doing here in Buffalo. That's all we know. Anyway, hey, ladies, go ahead.
Do you have a good blue cheese producer in Buffalo?
No, but we dip our chicken in it.
Yeah, okay.
Blue cheese dressing. It goes in the so.
Local farmers.
And then they're covering it. They're putting it on the enrober.
Hey, so blue cheese, by the way, because somebody said you should use blue cheese with something earlier.
Yeah.
Philip Ashley Ricks in Memphis does an unbelievable blue cheese.
Oh,
chocolate.
Praline.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like rock star. Like his stuff is really good. And like you were talking about flavors, he uses a lot of local flavors from Tennessee and from that part of the country, whiskeys and bourbons that are available there. And, he designs things around like flavors, like you guys were talking about, like flavors that remind you of home. But he's somebody you should check out, Philip Ashley Ricks.
I mean, for us, it's easy because Miami is so tropical. It's just like us, we have guava, passion fruit, we have everything growing here. So,
right.
We'll check him out for sure.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, ladies, thanks a bunch. This has been awesome.
Oh,
So good talking to you.
Geeking out.
And thanks to Eric.
We'll share.
And you guys have to come up and visit when you can when you can get on the plane. And next time I'm in Florida, whenever that is again.
I'm sorry.
We'll do a tour.
A few mosquitoes, but that's it.
We had rain. You see the rain. We had rain. All the tropic flair like we had here.
Yeah, there's no tropics out there. There's a bunch of maple leaves turning red. So.
Oh. Not snowing yet.
Not yet. It snowed. No, it snowed last week. I don't know. It snowed one day last week. Until I have to shovel it, I don't pay attention.
We still have to use next day air for chocolate. So.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. All right, ladies. Well, thanks a bunch. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye now.